where hopium and common sense collide. Starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it is your boy, CryptoKeeper, and as always, the BlockchainCrusader back at you. We just saw you like 2 minutes ago, but
technical difficulties.
Had a little technical difficulty, so we're going to get past that and dive right into it. If you are in the live chat, guys, we do apologize. You can X out, smash a dislike if you don't want to smash a like because we screwed it up. We accept responsibility. We are men like that. It happens, right?
Yes.
So we know on the podium tonight is Bitcoin, right? What else could it be? It's Saturday night. We had a massive drop, right? Miguel, jump right into the chart. Show me what is going on and what has been going on.
So as what we've been seeing here in the charts, right? If we measure the drop from about at the top, 68, 67-ish, right? We measure that drop from there to the bottom of the wick that we saw today. Is 39%, guys. 39%, right? And if we measure it from the base from the very top to where we're at right now, we're at about 29%. In 2017, we saw multiple 38 to 36% drops on the way up to the top. The only difference this cycle around has been the fact that we're seeing these drops in December, times that we shouldn't be seeing that. But they do happen. These drops have happened for Bitcoin before multiple times. The RSI is also really completely oversold over here at a bottom of about 15. We have not seen that even in November. We had 16 in September. We had 18. So we have not seen that all the way since back in around July, May time. Yeah, July. So that is saying that we are bound for a bounce back any second now from that low price of, we're completely oversold, guys.
Technical analysis, guys, is a science and an art form at the same time. If you are in the TikTok live stream, if you're looking to trade better, we do have a link in my bio for the technical and that CT2A, which is actually through Crypto Jeb. We've partnered with him. It's a fantastic course. It's like almost 50 videos. As he makes more videos, you'll be able to have access to those. So CT2A is in the bio, and I think we're going to be adding it down into the YouTube information. Have we already added that, Miguel, or no?
No, we haven't.
Okay, so we're going to get that added
on our TikToks.
Yeah, so it's on both of our TikToks, myself and Miguel's. But if you're looking to trade a little bit more and you want to check that out, it's freaking fantastic. But all that aside, I just want to say that I started to say that too often I think we rely on history. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean that, we can't look back and say, hey, this happened here, so it's a possibility here. Yeah, that's always the case.
Hey, the founding fathers were great people.
Okay. Normally I'm right in tune, but I didn't catch that joke. Maybe
historical, bro. Historical history. You rely too much on history. Come on, man. You were there. You should know.
Yeah, exactly. You can see all the gray. I was there. But I guess what I'm getting at is at some point that has to change, right? We are evolving as a species. We are evolving. The markets are evolving. They are changing. More and more people are going to be coming in. Institutions are going to be playing things different. At some point, it has to change. Now, why does it have to change? It has to change because if not, and you can just look back and say, oh, okay, well, here's where we were this market. Here's where we're going to be this market. Well, then it would be literally not even a challenge to trade. And that would be not beneficial for these institutions to play with our money. Exactly. And so at some point, it's got to change. I'm thinking that, it's actually changing right now. I mean, it has to. The cycle has already been extended by whatever little bit it's been extended by at this point. So it is changing.
Yeah, things are changing, and like you said, right, institutions cannot keep the cycle being so predictable. Where it's a 4-year cycle. We go up this day, right? Since the Bitcoin halving, we count how many days, and then this day the bull run is over, guys. So make sure you buy all your Bitcoin up to this day, and you sell exactly at this time. So they want you to be the bag holders. They want to sell, right? They're creating all this type of confusion because none of the technical analysis, none of the on-chain metrics called for what's happening right now for this massive drop. So it is pure manipulation by whales and institutions to drop the price, cause chaos. People are completely confused. They don't understand why November was down the whole time, and now beginning December it's starting off even worse.
Yeah.
So definitely it's all about the confusion to keep you as a bag holder, because they know that if Bitcoin right now has a gigantic spike up to 70, 80K, everybody's like, the bull run is back, baby. We are going to 300K. Let's buy this bad boy. And you start buying up every single possible Bitcoin you can, and Ethereum and so on. And then that's when they dump on you.
Yeah, Arnie says, I just want to dump my stack of BTC. Am I crazy? And I happen to know, Arnie, you're newer to the space. We've talked to you. You're part of the DCA fam. We've got Debate Crypto Academy. Thank you for the question. Thank you guys for being here. But I do want to say this, Arnie. That is what the institutions want you to ask. That is the question that they want you to ask, right? Now, I know everybody heard me earlier saying, talking about if it drops below 40, that I would be taking profits, right? I know I talked about that. I'm not saying that that's changed. What I am saying is that the whole idea is to freak you out. It is the whole idea, right? The other thing is, Arnie, that's going to be different is, you just got in recently, right? So I will tell you from experience, and Miguel will also mimic what will repeat what I'm saying. It's scary when you first get in. It's chaotic when you first get in. I made a ton of mistakes when I first got in. I still make mistakes. We all make mistakes. The reality is we can't be perfect in this game, because it indeed is at some point, a guessing game. Of course, Miguel has never made a mistake since the first day he got in.
Well, not the first day, but since the last cycle, I haven't made any more mistakes.
Yeah, because
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Because you've held.
All I gotta say is I'm in 0 losses. I'm not losing a penny in any of my investments, and I'm all deep in the green. So by fact, I've made 0 mistakes.
That's correct. So Arnie, I guess all I want to tell you is that is totally the intention of dumps like this. So let's actually look a little farther into what the dump what happened.
What happened? Yeah.
So we've got this. Let me pull. Boom. Yeah. Come on. There we go. All right. So down. 3 on-chain signs that flashed shortly before Bitcoin's 16K daily crash. There we got a whole bunch of crypto weathermans on the screen there, right there. 3 bears. Bitcoin's price plummeted in a day, losing $16,000 of value in hours, and the rest of the market followed. According to the analytics company Quant, there were several on-chain developments that flashed ahead of the crash that could have foreseen the dump. The 3 on-chain factors. Now, I'm gonna skim through these. I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but the first was a number of Bitcoins sitting on exchanges, which spiked sharply hours ahead of the drop. This metric was declining gradually over the past several months, leading to new lows. However, as the graph below demonstrates, there were more than 45,000 Bitcoins deposited in a day. Miguel, let's go through this piece by piece. Let's start with this one. 45,000 Bitcoin get deposited in a day, right? So my question to you would be, is that a coincidence?
Oh, absolutely not, right? That's not a coincidence that 45,000 Bitcoin get dropped onto exchanges in one day, when we're seeing from the on-chain metrics that Bitcoin on exchanges is at a 3-year low. So out of nowhere, now 45,000 Bitcoin comes and say, hey guys, we're just going to sell today because, even though there's a scarcity of Bitcoin out there on exchanges, let's just go and deposit 45,000 Bitcoin and sell it.
If that's not a message for you, Arnie, again, we don't give financial advice, but when a massive inflow like that happens, it's one of 2 things. 1, out and out manipulation. Number 2, they know something that you don't. We are under the assumption right now that it was some massive manipulation. Could they know something we don't? Absolutely. That's always, always, always a possibility. Let's dive a little further into it. So that was the first thing, right? Secondly, the analytics company broached all exchanges' estimated leverage ratio, which tracks the open interest on all trading venues divided by their Bitcoin reserve. Essentially, this metric shows the degree of leverage used by investors, which also spiked sharply hours before the crash. Now, Miguel, what I thought was interesting about this one was that the hours before the crash, there was still some big leverage plays moving, right? Leverage is in my estimation the biggest thing that actively moves these markets in such huge
yeah.
ways because two things. One, sometimes these institutions are competing against each other and trying to knock someone out of the game. They're trying to basically squeeze someone out, right? And then sometimes ultimately it is exactly like we've said, a play on, let's see how many people we can get to get
Yes.
freaking scared and run.
So people need to realize that with leverage trading being available on all these exchanges, right? They're bringing it leverage trading. Everybody's like, yeah, oh my God, I love leverage trading. And, a lot of crypto content creators talk about leverage trading. It's great if you know what you're doing. If you're a beginner or a beginner investor, and especially a beginner trader, stay away from it. Super going to get likely to get liquidated. The problem with leverage is it's a double-edged sword. Yes, the average investor can play with a lot more money and make some more money, but the institutions, the whales, can use this to heavily see, okay, everybody's very long right now. Okay, it's time for us to dump on the market, right? And then they'll put a short in, dump the market at the same time, make money from the profits they're selling, and make money on the short all the way down. It's very easy for them to see what's going on, right? You guys need to realize that these whales, these institutions, if you think that we're the only ones using Glassnode and we're the only ones looking at these metrics, so are they. And they have way more resources than we do. They have tons of people working for them, right? They have tons of people with a bunch of bots, a bunch of research going on. So they know exactly how to make these drops or pumps happen to their benefit and when is the precise time. So no matter what we see, they're seeing way more information than we ever are.
Yeah, and it's even more than that. They not only see information exponentially more than we do, but let's go one step further. Let's look at it. Let's look at this. They see all of the information and they basically try to make us their little puppets, right? They jump on to Debate Crypto and they see what we're talking about and how we're saying, X, Y, and Z is where we see things happening. They jump on to Let's Be More Real. They jump on to BitBoy Crypto. They jump on to Altcoin Daily. They jump on to all of these, Crypto Jeb. They jump on to some of these bigger players. They're like, I see a common theme here. Everybody's bullish. Everybody thinks we're going to 100K in the next few weeks. Then they do this. I wonder what we could do with this, right? And I think that ultimately, whether you like to admit this or not, it is a mad play on you, on me, on every other person that has their money invested, because it keeps everyone on edge. It keeps everyone on their toes thinking what's going on. It keeps Miguel and I bantering back and forth on a Saturday afternoon about what is or isn't happening and what we are or aren't going to be doing. So let me
I'm
dive.
just letting everybody know that I'm sleeping peacefully tonight. I'm not losing sleep over this.
The third metric was the exchange whale ratio, which compares the top 10 largest deposits to exchanges with all other deposits. According to CryptoQuant, which is one of those indicators we were talking about, the indicator tends to stay below 85% in bull markets, while in bear market, it drops. I think this is wrong, by the way. It said below and below. At any event, in bull markets, it stays below 85%. In bear markets, I think it goes above. But interestingly, it has remained above 85% for the past few weeks and even spiked to north of 90% in the past few days, right? So, Miguel, we've talked about this a lot as well. Whales ultimately, whether you guys truly realize this or not, whales control these markets. When you see these massive moves at weird times during the day or whatever, there's two things you need to realize. First thing is crypto trades 24/7 and everybody's not on the same time frame. What I've noticed, and I've asked Miguel this, we've talked about this, I've talked to Ben Armstrong about this. Overnight, I feel like if I was ever going to get into the leverage game and short crypto, I would short it after, for me, what would be after hours, sometime between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. And I used to ask when I was newer, like,
How dare you?
why are the markets always seem like they're dropping overnight? Well, it's the Asian markets that are happening overnight, and they they have a little bit different approach on how they actually run with their investments and the things that they do and don't do. It's a different culture, right? And so ultimately, it is very common to see that overnight. And if any of you are wondering, why does it always seem like we're down first thing in the morning and then it comes back up? Well, I'll tell you why. Asian markets have run all night. They've done their thing. And now, guess what? The markets over here are opening up. And now it's time for us to do ours, which let me jump into this question real quick. And Miguel, I'll let you jump in and answer this for us. So right here says, love your show and when you're on Around the Blockchain. First of all, thank you. Since the majority of crypto investors are younger Gen X millennials, why, oh, why, I love the drama here. Why, oh, why do the crypto markets rise and fall with the traditional stock markets? Miguel, thoughts?
So my thoughts before I even answer this question, I want to say what you were talking about earlier. Shorting Bitcoin in a bull market is blasphemy. I'm just going to put it out there.
I said blasphemy. If I was ever going to short, it would be over after hours.
It doesn't matter. In a bull market, that is blasphemy. In the bear market, somewhat acceptable, but frowned upon. But whatever. So going on to this question, yes, I believe the reason why this happens is two things. One, it's the very obvious one is the stock market drops when you're seeing this type of drama with the fog around the world happening. Automatically, the stock market starts dropping, and like every investor, the people that are investing in stock markets and people that are investing in crypto fear the same things, right? They go based off news and emotion in the markets, and they say, "Oh wait, this thing's happening. Okay, I'm gonna sell here." Or I'm going to panic sell because things started dropping. And then I see the news, I see the charts, bearish news, bearish charts. Oh, I'm selling. I'm out of here. So that's why I think there's some level of coordination there between the stock market and the crypto market. And that's the other one, the more speculative one, is that the whales and the institutions wait for when the stock market is dropping, and then that's when they choose to dump on the crypto market to make sure that things stay somewhat like, hey, it wasn't us, it was just, look at all the markets are dumping because of this and that, and just point the finger at somewhere else. So that's why, right? And they don't want the crypto market to be thriving while the stock market is falling.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want that picture out there and people seeing and noticing that.
Part of what I wanted to say was I have two parts to this. The first part of this is exactly what Miguel was just saying. I was going to echo a little bit of that at the end of what he said.
I'm always right.
They do not, I just threw up in my mouth. They do not want, listen, at some point, there's got to be a line at which people look and they say, you know what? Why am I investing in stocks? Right? Because at some point, the risk reward ratio is a balanced enough, return that they look at and say, well, I might have some higher risk, but man, I've got a lot higher amount of return here. So at some point that scale tips, and all of a sudden people are out of the traditional markets and they're into crypto. The other part is this: whether people like to admit this or not, crypto still is the Wild West. Okay. I literally could be on the phone on a recorded conversation with Miguel telling him that I have information on a project that my buddy's a dev for on Chainlink or whatever, right? And I have information. The SEC could be on the other end of the phone because, Miguel, we always joke around about how the CIA and the NSA and the FBI are always listening to our phone conversations. We have really weird things happening with our cell phone conversations, but I digress. And we could legally do that because this is not regulated at this point, right? And so that's the other reason why, because I think that it is easier to manipulate. And so a lot of these big institutions say, well, you know what? We're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z, but we can do that over in crypto. And our investors are looking for a return. We absolutely got hammered over here. I think we can make some of this ground up over here. And they basically move and sway where they are putting their funds. So I think there's a lot of different things going on there. It's a great question. Let me finish this up here. So what else changed? Such a massive price crash in a relatively short period led to other abnormal activities. For instance, the Coinbase Premium Index showing the difference between the price of Bitcoin on the largest US-based exchange and other trading venues skyrocketed. Typically, the higher the premium gets, the stronger the spot buying pressure is on Coinbase. Interestingly, Ethereum's premium also surged. So Wu Blockchain also outlined the premium in South Korean exchanges, which the journalist described as retail-oriented trading venues. As the picture below shows, this metric also increased rapidly, suggesting that retail investors rushed in to take a page out of El Salvador's book and buy the dip. Miguel, they are speaking the language, bro. Buy the dip. Did
Yes.
our followers do the right thing if they jumped in and bought the dip? And if you did buy the dip, drop it in the chat. Let me know. What did you buy? I will tell you guys. I bought two assets this morning, right? I bought XRP at a discount and I bought VeChain at a discount, okay? I know, Miguel, you hate everything about that, but
I'm not saying nothing. I already said my piece in the last video earlier today.
Drop it in the chat, guys. Tell us what you bought. If you bought the dip, drop it in the chat. Let us know what you bought.
Yeah. Well, people are dropping that in the chat, guys. A lot of questions. The question is, are we in a bear market, right? Are we going to keep going lower? The answer is it can. We could consolidate here. We could come back up into the 50s and then maybe come up back a little bit lower again. We could see that, right? We need to adapt, right? We can't stay so rigid on what we think is going to happen and just stick to it. So, right, a lot of people, before I even get to where I'm getting, a lot of people talking about the extended cycle and the super cycle. A lot of people earlier this year were all about the super cycle. The super cycle doesn't mean we just go up forever, right? We go up in the long term, but that's going to have some drops in the meantime. So if you guys wanted this super cycle, this could be the beginning of it. This is what you wanted. Now you have to play the game, right? You're going to have to suffer through these massive drops and not panic sell like Nick. So I'm just saying we need to start adapting our thoughts, right? Maybe December is not the 100K like we expected it to be, but it doesn't mean that there's not other things to look forward, right? In 2022, if you've been following Benjamin Cowen, he's been talking about the extended cycle for a very, very long time. And it could be very possible that this one has changed, right? We still don't know if we're just getting played by the institutions right now, and then everything's going to pump later this December by Christmas time, and people are going to be cheering and saying, I told you so. Or people in Christmas are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I bought all those gifts. I'm going to need those gifts back. I need to return them because crypto's not doing good right now, and I over-leveraged myself, right? And we might be going to an extended cycle where things are going to be choppy and consolidating for the next couple of months, and it's going to be very boring, just how we did in the summer. Very, very boring action. Everybody went away, and nobody was buying at those price points, but then everything shot back up a couple of months later.
Some people,
very likely.
Some people were buying at those price points. This guy.
Well, yeah, but back then you weren't a panic seller. Now it looks like you're getting shaky on the boots, and it's like
for those of you that missed it, I have actively have told the group, have told our followers that if we drop below 40, I am calling a bear market, and I will be selling about 80% of my position. That's what Miguel is referring to.
Yes.
Well, let me say something before you continue to bust my balls on that. Chemo in crypto says in the end, the best thing you can do is hodl and just know when severe dumps happen, you can buy more sats. You know, 100%. The reality is if you guys are looking for a stress-free way to win in crypto long term, this is it. And why do I say stress free? Because if this is what you're doing, you're not using funds that you need to pay your mortgage, right? Even if it's smaller amounts of money and it's like, hey, you know what? It doesn't feel like a lot now. I can tell you when I first jumped into crypto, I was not making these massive buys. Here's what and Miguel, you can probably relate to this too. When I first got into crypto, like I was very cautious, trying to learn what was going on, buying. And then what I've noticed is what happens is as your bags, right, get larger and larger and larger, you almost have a lower entry point where it's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to buy unless I can at least like do something, feel something. And as you get more and more and more and more, that number kind of gets a little higher and higher and higher. But you had to start somewhere. Now, Miguel would be the unicorn here because he's about to tell you a story about how he went all in and took a loan for 15 grand and dove in. So I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna tell the story for him. All right. I don't want to hear that craziness, right? But the majority of people, other than the unicorn in the room, we ultimately started small, and then that grew. And I guess I just want to encourage you guys, if ultimately you're looking for a more stress-free way to do this long term, we do all of us believe long term crypto's a winner. You buy a top tier project like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, you sit on it, shoot, you could stay out of the markets for years, just let it sit, let it do its thing, put it on a hardware wallet, forget about it, make sure you know how to get access to that wallet, and boom.
100%, right? My goal is 2030, right? Retire, be financially free
Yep.
by
Yep.
2030. Other people are rushed and they want to be financially free next year. Everybody's in a different time frame, everybody's a different age, everyone has a different situation.
Yep.
Mine is longer paced, 2030, so I can take more risk or sometimes slow down and not really panic about these things, because I truly do believe that by 2030, Bitcoin's going to be plus $1 million. ETH is going to be around 100K, right? So I'm okay with these short-term dips because people are so focused on the in of every day, the zoomed in of, oh man, today Bitcoin dropped down to 42. Should I panic sell or should I buy some more right now? I when I see this, I zoom out, right? I zoom out of where we've been, right? Last year, Bitcoin was at 17,000 last year. 17,000. This time last year, we were at 17K.
Yep.
Now we're at 50. Now we're at 48, and we're saying, "Oh, it's a bear market. It's all over, guys. Go home and go cry." Right? And we were at 17,000 last year.
Yeah.
So zoom out, see where you're going, and see where it is that you're headed. Another thing let's answer this question before I jump into the next thing.
Well, you can jump into the next thing. We can get to this afterwards if you're going to forget.
No. Go ahead.
All right.
Will Bitcoin ever be in any
hold on.
way?
Let me touch on this first of all. Great name, Crypto Santa Claus. I love it. All right, Crypto Santa Claus. Should I drop my? I need to make a little wallet. I can tell you. I'll give you my wallet address, and you can drop me some bags, if you will.
Don't give him any Bitcoin. He's got paper hands.
So, question/debate: will Bitcoin ever be in any way the lead economy in the world? Miguel, thoughts?
I mean, are you even going to ask me that question?
Well, I already know what the Maxi was going to say.
I mean, it's a yes, right? It's definitely a yes. It's the hardest asset created, right? Bitcoin has volatility right now, but that's because the regulations aren't set in, right? Like we said, it's a Wild West. Institutions like Jamie Dimon can come out, trash talk Bitcoin, dump it, and in the background be buying it and do this stuff every day, all day. That will come to an end. So the volatility will, on that aspect from institutions, also come to an end at some point. 2030 plus, right? Bitcoin at $1 million plus, the volatility would be a lot different. We're not going to be seeing 50% drops, 60% drops for Bitcoin every 2 years when that happens. As we see more nations adopt Bitcoin, whether they hold it as a reserve asset or they hold it on their balance sheet, we see more companies buying and holding on their balance sheet. Things will definitely, right? Bitcoin's only 12 years old, guys, and we're already talking about replacing the dollar as a world reserve currency, as some level of leading the economy, as the hardest asset ever created. It's only 12 years old. Fiat has been around forever, and it's on its deathbed, right? So we got to be patient.
I think the only thing the only two things that I could see that could or would stop that is going to be either our government trying to overreach and just say, hey, we're not doing this decentralization thing, can't have it, won't have it, and they try to shut it out. But they won't be able to when I say shut it out, I'm just saying, let's say the United States says no. The reality is it is decentralized. It is all over the world, right? So it's not like they can shut down Bitcoin. All they can do is basically push people elsewhere and basically make people in the United States that otherwise could benefit from Bitcoin and push them out of the country. That's the first thing. Second thing, and this would be a problem for a whole lot of different reasons, but quantum computing. I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently and go further than saying that. I just know that if we get to, and I don't know how close we are to that. I don't know any of that. I'm just saying that I do know that that is a problem that I have heard pointed out from a lot of really smart people. And so I think that those are probably the two things that I could see basically snuffing that out or trying to snuff that
So
out.
when it comes to that quantum computing stuff, I'm not worried. Bitcoin is adaptable, right? You can add extra layers of code into it to make it quantum resistant. Is it happening right now? No, but it can happen. It's not a big priority right now. Also, when it comes to the government, we're seeing the mayor of Miami adopting more Bitcoin, having the Miami coin, wanting to pay out its citizens its dividends in Bitcoin, right? We're seeing Texas also doing the same thing. We're seeing what's his name? What's the Republican from Texas? Forget
There's
it.
a lot of Republicans in
Yes,
Texas. Do I
the
have to
the one that ran
specify?
for president. What's his name? The one that ran for president against Trump.
Against Trump? You talking about
Yes.
Bernie Sanders?
No, man, a Republican dude.
Oh,
Um, what's
well,
his face?
I think he's like a, I think he's
No,
like a,
forget about it. He has a beard, bro. He's a chubby dude. Oh, forget it. Whatever.
I literally have no idea who you're talking about. I really don't.
Whatever. Point is,
Yeah.
he came out recently talking about Bitcoin. He's super pro Bitcoin, right? Talking about rebuilding Texas electrical system with what they're doing with the Bitcoin mining machines and
Somebody said Ted
rebuilding.
Cruz.
Yes, Ted Cruz. That's his name. Thank you. Somebody's paying attention.
Yeah.
Um,
Good job, Willis.
yes, Ted Cruz. That's his name. So yes, trying to rebuild the Texas electric grid. We saw it go down in the snowstorm. Bitcoin mining machines do advance the electrical grid, do advance energy efficiency. So the more efficient you are with mining Bitcoin, the more efficient, right?
Yeah.
The less you cost when you have to pay your bills. So that obviously helps with upgrading the electrical system that we have today, which is super chaotic. We're seeing we're seeing the mayor of New York. Yeah, she wishes she was a Republican. The mayor of New York that just won, Eric Adams, I believe his name is pro crypto, going to be releasing a New York coin. There's a lot of cities releasing their own coins, using it to adapt it to pay out their citizens, do something with their citizens in crypto related. So I think this is going to continue spreading more and more, and eventually they can only prolong the process until the nation, along with many others, adopt crypto, whether it's
Yeah.
Bitcoin or not. But yeah.
This is the big question here, Cameron. By the way, Cameron Mitchell, great steakhouse too, by the way, side note, but had a similar dump like this in 2017 after a double top. Was 69K the top, or do you think the market makers are toying with us? Here's what I think. I think that the market makers are toying with us. That's what I think. But I also am open to the idea that we could be setting ourselves up and in a really bad position, continuing to not at least look at the idea that it could have been the top. I don't think that it was, but I think we at least need to have our thinking caps on and say that it could have been have
I
been the
think
top.
thinking that we've double topped and we're going down is blasphemy right now. To be honest, it's a big buzzword right now. I do not think that even if we hit 40K, like you said, and selling, you're going to be selling or whatever because it's going to be going to the bear market. We were technically in a bear market in the summer when Bitcoin dropped from 65 all the way down to 28, right? Yet because the time was different. Some people were more bullish. Now
Mhm.
the time reference has changed, so everyone's like, "Oh, that's it. If we drop below 40, I'm out. We're going into a bear market." I don't
Yeah.
think so. If we would have topped out at 70,000 or 67, 69, whatever it is that we hit, and if that is the top, and we do enter a bear market, and you're correct, and people are correct, you're correct, BitBoy's correct about that, then I think that we need to evaluate or assume that we're not going to be seeing an 80 to 90% drop again like we did before, because Bitcoin would be breaking historical cycle all-time highs that he's
Yeah.
never rebased. Right, Bitcoin
Mhm.
has never touched back or broken below a previous cycle all-time high. So the previous cycle all-time high was 20K. If we drop 80% from 70, we'd be about 11,000. That
Oh
would
yeah.
be a massive, massive blow to all that. I think it's too many things of the first time, too many first time coincidences to all be happening at the same time. So if we do go into a bear market, I think it'd be a short-lived bear market like we did in the summer. Maybe extend out the cycle and then have that recovery again into the second or third leg up of the market, and then have that big parabolic movement in
I
2022.
I think the interesting thing, Miguel, to think about is where are we? Okay, so we're in uncharted waters at this point. We agree on that.
I've
We're
been there before.
ultimately okay. Yeah, so have I. Right? We
I mean,
anytime.
I've been there. I came to this country in uncharted waters, so it's okay.
It's
No
not.
one's been through choppy waves like I have.
Usually,
Okay.
I'm able to come up with those jokes. I didn't care. I'm like it. I love it. That's great. Um, we are in a place in the Bitcoin, in just the crypto markets as a whole, where we are past what history has been able to really tell us. So what I'm analyzing and thinking is, okay, where can we look at, and where can we look at the market and say, okay, excuse me, this is definitively where we're at. Well, I think the reality is there's not an answer for that, which is why we talk about in Debate Crypto Academy. If you guys are wondering, we have a group called Debate Crypto Academy. It's debatecrypto.academy. If you guys are looking to join a group of people that are learning and working together through putting together game plans, right? That's why I talk so much about game planning for your individual self, for what you are trying to achieve, because I am not doing the same thing as Miguel, as doing the same thing as Scully, as doing the same thing as Ryan and Cameron and Tyler and all of the other people that are in the chat. All of our financial game plans, our financial situations, all of those things look different, right? And so ultimately, if you're just looking to win an extra $500, though, we got something for you. Just make sure you're subscribed right here. Debate Crypto, 2 days before Christmas, Christmas gift. $500. We're giving it to somebody. That's like in 2 weeks, guys. So make sure you're subscribed. But yeah, ultimately, what I'm getting at is that game plan is going to be really important, Miguel. And my question for you is, because you have to be able to answer this question at some point. Maybe you're not ready for it now. But
Bring
my
it.
question for you is, at what point would you concede and say
Never.
we are in a bear market?
Into a bear I can see that we're in a bear market. I mean, I think a
Okay.
bear market will eventually happen.
Yeah.
I'm not a
But what's going to
I'm
be,
not a
you
bear
think
market
what do
denier
you think your cycle, what do you think is going to be your indicator for that?
for
Are
a
you saying
bear.
we have to have the blow off top for you to be able to see that happen and then say, okay, I could see a bear market at this point happen? You're suggesting we have to have the blow off
So
top.
I'm not saying that. So like I said just a little while ago, right? I said we could see a bear market now, right? Because we technically saw a bear market in the summer. That was a bear market. It was a bear market within a bigger bull market, right? So we could see something like that, just like that right now. And I could say, yeah, we're in a technically in a bearish moment, right? Where we're dropping 50%, right? We keep dropping down lower into the 40s, into below 40. We're going to be like around the 50%, 40 something percent drop. So I could say, yeah, maybe we go into a mini bear market again. That I would say, yeah, but I don't. But I remain bullish on Bitcoin. I won't
Yeah.
be panic selling like
Right.
some people I know that have
Right.
completely let me down and broken my heart today.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. 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 For having a
so
game plan. Yeah. Good. Good. I get it. I got
so
it. Okay. Cool.
yeah, so I do expect a bear market to happen, but I'm not worried about it, right?
Yeah.
Long term, my game plan is long term. I am in it for to win it, right?
Yeah.
Get rich or die trying. So
Yeah.
I'm in my position, right? Not everybody has the same position as me. Some people bought Bitcoin for the first time this year, and they might have bought at 50. They might
Yeah.
have bought at at 40, and they
Right.
don't want to take that loss. So whatever, it depends on your personal decision on where you got in and where you want to get out. I got in a long time ago. I'm happy where I'm at. If I write it down, I know that I'm not going to be at a loss. So I'll be okay. Yeah. Could then, the argument be made, oh, if I would have sold, I could have bought back lower, right? And, doubled down my position. Yes. That is a wonderful, perfect world scenario. But if I panic sell like Nick at 40 and then we skyrocket back to 100, I will I would be kicking myself every day because I sold the bottom and I'm buying back in at the top, right? So I cannot live with myself if that were to happen because I'm just in such a good position where I got in already that it's too much risk like Michael Saylor says, right? It's too much risk not to hold Bitcoin long term, and selling at 40 and then maybe never seeing 40 again. If we do skyrocket past 100, I'd be very sad.
Yeah, I ultimately, again, I don't think we're going down, but I just want people to be prepared for the idea that we do have a lot of chaos going on in our world right now, right? And chaos breeds stupidity, and chaos breeds, you know, interest rates going up, and interest rates going up breeds the crypto markets hurting, and the crypto markets hurting breed, you know, and just things just basically pile up on each other, right? Not to
Yes.
mention the fact that we are being manipulated, whether we like to, like, basically the
One way
goal.
or another, it's all
Yeah,
manipulation.
the goal is to outfox the fox, right?
Yeah.
The fox is already in the hen house, right? And so all you need to do is try to get to the hen first. And so the reality is, what I mean by that is, your game plan needs to be your game plan, and that's what you're going to have to stick with. I know people hate hearing that. People are like, "Oh my gosh, you're just telling me, you can't tell me what to do." We
There
really,
is
we
no
really,
right
we really
answer.
can't. There's not a right answer.
There's not a
There's
right
not.
answer, right? And
There's not.
I love this comment right here from Jeffrey. I love this comment. It says you only need to be right once, right? And that's very true. And that's what I just said, right? I feel like I was right that one time. I got Bitcoin under 10K. I got ETH under $200. That was my opportunity to be right. It's been
Yep.
right. We're not going to see those prices again. I truly, hardly believe we'll never see those prices again. So
Yeah.
why would I sell my ticket, my golden ticket to the chocolate factory of I was right. I got the ticket, and now I'm going to panic sell because I want to be greedy and double up my position. I
Do
understand that's how traders think. I understand that I want to build a trading portfolio where I do trades. But with what I have now, I am not willing to sell for that greed of maybe doubling up.
Yeah, you know the funny thing, whenever I hear, so, you know, I'm the ETH bull all the way, right? ETH's my girl. I talk about her being my girlfriend, all of that. Miguel's the Bitcoin maxi. The funny thing is that I think Miguel bought ETH at a lower price point to begin with, and then kind of flopped over into Bitcoin, right?
Nope,
Like,
nope, nope, nope.
well, I don't know how then, because you bought ETH,
I
you bought.
bought ETH at $293 the first time I
Oh,
ever bought
well,
ETH.
okay,
The
okay,
first
okay,
time I ever bought ETH
okay.
was
I
my
thought
first
I thought
purchase ever.
I thought it was
Yeah.
$193. Okay, never
No, no,
mind. I was gonna.
$293 was my first purchase ever, October 27th of 2017. I won't forget I was laying on my couch.
The end of what I was saying was just going to be that I bought Bitcoin at half of what you bought it at. But at any event, you know, I'm, yeah, okay. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to poke the bull.
The only difference is I'm not willing to panic sell mine.
Bart says, Bart says, are they getting along tonight? we're doing a little better tonight, Bart.
We had to go to couples counseling
Yeah, we had couples
after.
counseling earlier. We got out of there, and it was like, okay, we can woo sa. So hold on.
Yeah,
Sean Bell says, oh, did I
no,
just
that's
click the
not
wrong
Sean
one?
Bell's.
That is not Bell. This is what I meant. Okay. I agree. I don't think we'll have a true bear market in terms of the traditional financial system. The crypto space is expanding too quickly. Sean Bell, I need to tell you, this is the trick of the devil, my friend. The true bear market has in the past been this what you're saying is absolutely what we have said in the past. No, it's different this time. It's different this time. It's different this time. Until we prove that it's different,
Well, it is proving to be different right now.
no, but what I mean, like the bear market part of this, whether we, you know what I mean, you can't say like, oh, well, it's a few days different or whatever. What I'm saying is, if we, I believe that we're still going to have a massive, true bear market where we are down, down, down for a little while. I think we
Well,
have
yeah,
to.
I think after December we'll know, right? If we changed or not. If after December we'll determine, all right, are we in extended cycle, right?
Yeah.
Did we double top? What's going on? Are we in a mini bear market? After December, we will know where we stand with what to adapt, what to believe coming in, right? This is
Because
going to be
remember, 2017 was exactly that, Miguel. I know I was guilty of saying it, right? Oh, there's not going to be a bear market this time. It's different. It's going to be different this time. It's going to be different. Oh. This sucks, right?
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
Sean, you're incredible. We talk all the time. You're part of the DCA fam. We love you. We respect you. You're incredibly smart. You do mining. You do all sorts of freaking really cool stuff. You've taught Miguel and I stuff. It's fantastic, bro. Just don't let that thought process get too ingrained in your head, because in reality, it seems like we, in the past at least, have gotten crushed. At least I have, thinking that way, for sure.
Yeah, so he also stated, saying, my point, institutional money has never been a weighted factor in the 4-year cycle. So they've always been here, but they've been in the background. No one's ever really been talking about them. This cycle really has highlighted
Yeah.
institutional interest and play in the game.
Yeah.
So yes, you are right that the weight hasn't really been factored in.
Mhm.
So per se, because everyone's been thinking that everything that's been happening for Bitcoin and crypto has only been retail. So yes, that does make a difference, right? Right now, retail is distracted with NFTs, distracted with the metaverse, distracted with play to earn games, and all the other little shiny trinkets being shown, right? All the little meme coins, all the DAOs that promise you 100 million% if you just put
Yep.
$1 in there, you'll be rich in a
Yep.
year, right?
Yep.
All this kind of craziness.
Yep.
Everyone is distracted with that. Institution is hyper focused on Bitcoin, maybe some Ethereum, right? When they feel sorry for Nick, they'll talk about that. When they find out that he panic sold all his Bitcoin, then they'll
Yeah.
maybe bring up some institutional plays for ETH. Uh,
Yeah, maybe. It's a
so
possibility.
yes, it does change things, right? And like I said earlier today, I do believe that institutions are using this distraction for retail with all the NFTs and so on as a way to propagate or extend the cycle so that they can keep accumulating in the background for this next leg up in the market. And they're using it for that moment, because in 2017 the institutions, or the whales, the manipulators, the market movers, needed to keep people's attention hyper focused on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin wasn't doing any moves for a small period amount of time, people were like, oh man, crypto. But then instantly Bitcoin would pump. Oh man, crypto. Everybody buying Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin pumps. People are like, oh well, I just bought a $650,000 yacht NFT for Sandbox.
Yeah.
Like nobody was doing that in 2017, right? Nobody was spending money like that on random NFTs. So now, since all the attention is not on Bitcoin, Bitcoin doesn't need to be having all these fluctuations in price in the upward momentum to keep the crypto markets alive and going, because people are still very pumped about NFTs and metaverses and play to earns. Versus 2017, they had to keep people's attention all the time by making sure that Bitcoin was always moving upward.
Yeah. No Chill Penguin says, I want to say the institutions want to feed us a false narrative to get us comfortable, then boom, dunk on us when we're overextended. I mean, enough said. Like, nothing more needs to be said. That absolutely has been what we've seen. And the reality is that stinks about that fact, because it is a
Yep.
fact, is that you can't prepare for it, right? You think you can. And this is why we talk about, this is the other reason why we talk about, figuring out a game plan and taking profits. If that's your game plan, if profit taking is part of your plan, the reason we talk about it is because you cannot plan for what has happened today and yesterday. You
Yeah,
can't. Like,
you can't.
nobody saw this. Nobody was analyzing this. There might have been a couple people that started talking about the lunar cycle or something like that. Like, yeah, of course, you're gonna get lucky once in a while. Every what do they say, every dog or every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, right? That does happen, right? But at the end of the day, you can't plan for it, and that's why we always talk about having that game plan set up and having your take profit.
Yes, I would
Monthly.
not be surprised at all. I'm actually expecting it. This is what I'm expecting to happen is everyone right now gets super bearish on Bitcoin. Bitcoin going down, down, down. It's all over, extended cycle, yada yada yada. And in the next 2 weeks, we see Bitcoin have parabolic movement back up to 70K. And maybe we don't hit 100K by the end of December. And maybe we do have a little bit extended, right? Maybe another month or so. Bitcoin tips over into the first couple of weeks of January and keeps moving its way up to 100K. And then maybe BitBoy is right where Bitcoin tops out at a low 100K, maybe 150K top sometime in January, and then come back down, and that would be it for the cycle. And then everybody's gonna be boggled and be left in holding the bag, because when they see Bitcoin have that gigantic movement after what's happening today, that everybody is super bearish right now, they're going to be buying up Bitcoin when they see those humongous green candles.
Yeah. I think that the one good thing we can say is this to kind of wrap things up. The markets have rebounded phenomenally, right? You got to look. There was a wick down. The biggest thing that you can take away, I think, from this initially on a short term, right? We wicked down all the way to 42. When you have a massive wick, but a candle body all the way up here, wicking down and then immediately coming back up and closing says buy, 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 buy. There was a lot of people that had some set buys in there with some large amounts of capital that brought that right back up. Because what you have to understand is that wick down liquidated $2.5 billion worth of longs. Guys, that's a lot of freaking money, right? But that wick down, though it knocked out all of those leveraged longs, that whole dip bought up like that. And so ultimately, I think long term, we're going to look back at this and laugh that we were busting each other's balls all day about what we're doing, what we're not doing, when the reality is, I think there's going to be a blip on the radar.
Well, it is. It is. I'm gonna show you right now what it looks like. But yeah, like Cameron said here, right? Updated fear marketing is at 18. Buy, buy, buy. Right? We're not telling you to buy.
That's
It's not financial
really
advice,
low.
but
That's a lot of
it's
fear.
really low in the fear
Yeah.
index, right? What did we see over here? What do we see over here? The RSI is at extremely oversold territory. This is on the daily, guys. This isn't the 1 hour. This isn't the 4 hour. This is on the daily. We're all the way down here at 15. Right, we haven't been this low since like maybe May and July. Extremely oversold. We're going to have a recovery, whether we have a dead cat bounce, right, and then come back down. I don't know, but we will have a bounce up from here and keep things going. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys. In the meantime, we can bring up another question. Rather, I get prepared and I find.
Let's see here. So let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Do you think there are a lot more shorts opening? There will be a possible short squeeze soon. Tyler, I think that the majority. Tyler said, basically, do you think that there's going to be a short squeeze soon? For a technical short squeeze to happen, there are other things that need to be in play to actually activate a short squeeze. I highly doubt that we're going to get there right now. So no, I don't see that many shorts being open and then basically push it the other way to create that. I really don't see that happening. Yeah. What did you want to pull up again?
So let me share the screen. First thing I want to show is this, guys.
Have you heard this kid talk?
Yes,
have you heard this kid?
I love it, bro. I love it.
Oh my
God. And realistically, here we go, right? We have what I was talking about earlier, 38% drops. Look how many 38% drops we had on the way up, guys. From June all the way to 2018 of December, January of 2018. Look how many 38% drops we had on the way up. So we haven't even had that level of percentage of drops that many this year. We've had
scroll down and look at Benjamin Cohen's next.
And then Benjamin Cohen. This is the last thing I want to show everybody, right? Look at today. That was it. That was it, guys. Like, that's it. We literally.
Now, hold on. Now, mind you, guys, he's looking at a yearly chart. Just keep that in mind.
Yes.
That's a whole year within a.
It's a yearly chart, but you need to zoom out, right? If we were talking about our plan for 2030, our plan for 4 or 5 years from now, are you really going to make a 4 or 5 year decision on what happened just today?
Yeah, no.
Right? No, we're not telling you what to do. We're just telling you things to consider, guys.
Yeah. No kidding. Absolutely. I love it. Crypto fam, listen, if you haven't smashed a like by now, I don't know what else we can give you. We're trying to feed you truth. We're trying to feed you facts, and we're trying to feed you what ultimately is our position on the market. Make sure that you sign up for Debate Crypto Academy. If you're looking for direct access to myself and Miguel and a group, here's the thing. It's not just access to Miguel and I, right? That's all good and well. The really cool thing is we've got like 40 something people in
Access to
there.
them
And
gains, bro.
there is a core group of people that are in these markets and are talking. We do every single Sunday. We do a seminar, right? Which is a video seminar. Ask anything you want. Randomly on Sundays, we do a guided, topic, like a deep dive on something or a specific project or an idea or how to set up hardware wallets, all of that good stuff. So it's for beginner all the way to expert, right? But then also throughout the week, we do what we call rooms, right? And where ultimately we all get on video calls, and whoever has, the opportunity to take a stop from their day and get in. Maybe you've got a problem going on with something that you're dealing with. Somebody the other day was asking me about setting up a certain wallet and how that worked and whatever. Boom, let's go through it. Anything and everything you could think of, debatecrypto.academy. We are there for you. That is the shameless plug of the evening. But if nobody's told you before tonight, guys, we freaking love you. Don't forget, we're giving away $500, right? 2 days before Christmas, December 23rd, $500. Make sure all you got to do is subscribe. So again, we love you, crypto fam. Until next time.